Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm currently an assistant teacher with Lafayette Academy, and I'm also a professional tutor. I've worked with AVID, a program focused on helping underrepresented students into college, Madison Community Schools for Recreation, and Varsity Tutors, an online learning platform. And I'd like to discuss how I received a perfect score on the AP Biology exam. I took the exam in 2009, and even though the exam was over 10 years ago, I've used the knowledge that I've learned in professional practice. Since then, I've worked as a consultant for a healthcare organization, and I've also worked in COVID testing as a tester and administrator, and also in assisted living facilities as well. I've also worked as a medical translator, and by taking this course, this has helped me have a better understanding of how COVID works in COVID testing. Um, for example, the science of how COVID creates a cytokine storm in the body, and also the critical aspects in biology like polymerase chain reactions through PCR testing, and also basic immunology. In order to prepare to the course, I created unit reviews for myself and sorted chronologically with concepts in cell biology, cell energetics, cell communication, genetics, gene expression, natural selection and evolution, and ecology. Um, so I literally just started reviewing the course in a very organized manner from start to finish, and also wrote detailed notes surrounding each theme in biology. I used actually Crayon notes, for example, so just kind of as a review. Um, you could have one column on this side with a topic like natural selection, and then here are just more detailed notes. So we would discuss that Darwin was the founder. We also have sort of more information like traits over time, especially long periods of time. Finches are an example with dimorphism, and as an example, males and females may have two different traits that are expressed in dimorphism. um, and this course, because this course also has a high level understanding of scientific models, this course may be challenging for some students. I've also had a relatively strong science education previously, where I was able to apply concepts in chemistry that I learned for this course. I think one of the hardest things that students deal with actually is the chemistry and the biochemistry specifically. So this is actually the citric acid cycle, and the diagram's not exactly perfect because actually citrate is actually a more complex molecule than just 6 carbons, but in the diagram it's just sort of noted for students to remember that citrate has 6 carbons, isocitrate has 6 carbons. But what I did in order to memorize these sort of complex sort of pathways, I just literally kind of just drew each of the like reactions multiple times, and that's how I actually learned that. And I also would say to myself, we have NAD plus, we have then NADH with also hydronium I am disassociating. So because there are so many steps involved versus the you sort of like normal chemistry in general chemistry when you're just dealing with a few compounds trying to balance redox reactions. That's I think why students struggle with biochemistry more, because it has a little more complexity in the reactions. And I was also taking 2 other advanced placement courses at the time. I was also taking English and microeconomics. So when I was preparing for my courses, I planned my time strategically. So what that meant was that I started with biology first, spent the most, I would say, time on that subject. Sometimes I would spend maybe 40 hours, with my homework and AP exams. Sometimes maybe 50, although I wouldn't recommend that sometimes for the exams. But also you're taking breaks, so I think the well is important also for students. So I think that's also well just take care of yourself while you're focusing on a subject or topic that can be pretty complex. And what I've also told students is that you definitely focus on the weight of the content. So on the current AP exam, genetics and chemistry are actually weighted less, and they're actually weighted the least at from like 8 to 11%. So when studying for this, I've actually focused more on actually topics like ecology and natural selection. Biology is also a relatively new science, which began being recognized in the 19th century. And AP exams also discuss more macro themes, kind of like these larger themes that, um, versus I guess other sciences, such as chemistry and physics, which also can have these themes, but like talking about macrobiota, for instance. And although having an analytical mindset is important, and you are also required to interpret data, I would also say that theory is also important to understand as well. Even longer exams that I took required more concentration, but I focused on the content itself, and kept distractions at a minimum. And some institutions actually take 2 years to finish this course. For instance, like the IB programs are structured this way, but my institution took a year, and you should definitely find a pace that works for you. And just to give you kind of an example of some of the work that I did during my biology course, I actually performed a chi-square analysis of Brassica rapa. So Brassica rapa actually is a mustard plant, and bok choy, for example, or broccoli, are actually the same family. And the chi-square analysis was determined to see if our molecule would be used with certainty. And we actually treated Brassica rapa with ethyl methyl sulfate. It's actually a carcinogen, and this created mutations within the Brassica rapa DNA, causing different phenotypes, or something that's expressed in the second generation of this plant. And by performing the chi-square analysis, we also ensured that this had a 95% certainty with our data, and I actually did this in when I was in high school, which I did the great opportunity to do. And I think one of the things I also took from the course was kind of my sort of passion about understanding science. After this course, students can take even courses in environmental studies, including topics like ozonation, and definitely with some of the work that I've done in healthcare. This foundation started when I was in high school, so I definitely would take the opportunity to take this course if you have it, and I hope that you enjoyed just kind of my brief discussion about AP Biology.